Hi, I'm Jack, and welcome back because this time I am going to give you guys my list of most anticipated movies for the remainder of the year. Before we get started, let me know down below in the comments section, what are your most anticipated movies of the year? I would love to hear your ranking and your list and what movies you're super pumped to see like I am. And don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is on the bottom of the screen, so don't forget to do that while you're at it. And with that said, let's get started. One of my most anticipated movies of the year is The Green Knight. Now, before the year started, this movie was not on my radar, but I saw the trailer to it, and I thought this looks really interesting from a visual perspective and from the story, and that it follows King Arthur's nephew, and he goes on this quest to fight and take down the Green Knight himself. And it has a lot of great cast in the form of Dev Patel and Sean Harris and all that. There's lots of great actors in this movie, and it looks really good, and I've heard lots of great things about it. So this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Next up on the list is The Suicide Squad. Now, I was not a big fan of the 2016 version. It didn't feel like Suicide Squad to me. It had lots of studio interference, and the villain, I didn't like Enchantress being the villain, and there were a lot of things I did not like about the movie, but because they got James Gunn on board, and he directed both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, to direct a movie about this team with introducing all these different weird set of characters, I am so excited for this movie. All the looks and trailers we got have sold me on this. We have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Idris Elba, John Cena, and this incredible cast with all these incredible characters, and I'm so pumped to see that. Plus, it's going to be a true Suicide Squad movie because there's going to be full-out violence, full-out humor, and all of that stuff, and I'm so excited to see it, and there are lots of good reviews for it right now, and that makes me even more excited for this movie, and it's going to be such a blast, and this is easily one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and I cannot wait to see this next week. Up next is Free Guy. Now, I love me some Ryan Reynolds, and because he said that this is probably the best movie he's ever worked on, with the cast of Joe Keery and Taika Waititi and all that, I am blown for this movie. I am so excited. It looks very fun. It looks entertaining with that humor and the fact that it's an idea of Ryan Reynolds playing this computer-generated character who decides to start taking charge of his life and not be the side character. And I'm so excited to see it. It looks fun, humorous, entertaining, and because of Ryan Reynolds, it has to be on this list. The next Marvel movie on the list is ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I know who the character is, even though I'm not too familiar with him, but the trailers, yet again, they sold me, and the fact that this is a martial arts movie, and it's another diverse film in the series, makes me really excited for it, and all the trailers have blown me away, and I rewatched them several times because the action looks terrific, and I cannot wait to see the cast in the movie, and it looks so different than compared to all these other movies in the series, and it looks action-packed, it looks awesome, visually it looks really good, and of course, it's a Marvel movie, so without a doubt, Shang-Chi is also one of my most anticipated movies for the remainder of this year. Coming up next is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Now, Venom is a movie that I haven't seen since I first saw it in full, but I had fun with it for what it was, and the fact that they're now bringing in Carnage, who I've been wanting to see in the movies for a while now, and the fact that, of course, it's a Venom sequel with Tom Hardy, and it's directed by the legendary man himself, Andy Serkis. I am really excited to see what they're going to bring with this movie. And because, again, this is where Venom fights Carnage, I'm so excited for it because it looks like it's going to be maximum carnage. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see more moments with Venom, with Eddie and the symbiote. So cannot wait for that. So while this might not be like, a movie that everybody's crazy to see, it is for me. I can't wait to see it and just to have fun with it. And of course, Venom versus Carnage, so count me in. Next up is No Time to Die. Now, I love James Bond, and I love the Daniel Craig era of the series. I think he's the best fighter when it comes to James Bond. And the fact that this is his last movie as the character makes me really excited to watch it and to see how they're going to send him off. And because, of course, it looks action-packed, and it continues to show like some of the best cinematography work in the Bond series. And the fact that they got Rami Malek as the villain is interesting to me, and I am looking forward to seeing what they do with him. And I just cannot wait to see how they continue Daniel Craig's story as the iconic spy. So the trailer sold me, the marketing looks awesome, and I cannot wait to finally see this movie after all of these delays. Next up is one of my most anticipated movies, really high on that list, Dune. Now, I read the book earlier this year and I loved it, and I love the director. He's made a lot of some of my favorite films, including Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners, and Arrival. And I love the cast that he assembled, like Timothée Chalamet with Josh Brolin and Zendaya and Oscar Isaac and all that. I am so excited for this movie. I loved both the trailers we got so far. It looks just like the books are describing it, and it looks faithful so far, and I am so excited for it. And the visuals and cinematography work look spectacular, and just like they did in Blade Runner 2049. So I am beyond hyped to finally see this movie on the big screen in October. It's going to be so exciting. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be breathtaking. Next up on the list is Edgar Wright's next film, Last Night in Soho. Now, this also wasn't a movie on my radar at first, but then I saw the trailer, and then I watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and my excitement for this skyrocketed. And also because I really like Anya Taylor-Joy as an actress. She's marvelous, and I cannot wait to see her in this movie. And even Thomasin McKenzie, the other co-star of the movie. And it looks like it's going to be a really interesting psychological horror. And I'm really excited to see like what Edgar Wright has in store for this movie, and I am really looking forward to seeing it on the same weekend as Dune. So that is another mega win right there. Next up is Eternals. Now, again, another Marvel movie. It has to be up on this list somehow, but I actually really dug the trailer because I loved Chloe Zhao's recent movie Nomadland, where she won Best Director, Best Picture, and all that stuff. It swept the Oscars, and it was well-deserved. So the fact that she's directing a Marvel movie, where I heard it's completely practical effects, makes me really excited to see what she has in store for us. Plus, they have a great cast with Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington, Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, and I am so beyond pumped to see Eternals on the big screen. Plus, even from the look of the trailer, it doesn't look like it's something you would have seen before in the MCU. So this feels very much like a director-made movie, and it feels so unique and different compared to everything else that's been put out by them. And I'm really interested in the idea of the fact that it's about these centuries-old race of Celestials who've been on Earth for millennia, and they reunite to save the world once again. And I am really excited to see how they factor into the MCU, especially after how they've been dormant for so long. So I'm really excited to see this movie for the cast, the director, the visuals, the cinematography, and just the story. I'm really excited for this movie. So Eternals is high up there, and I am really pumped to see this movie in the fall. Coming after Eternals is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I love the original Ghostbusters movie. It's such a fun film, and I am really, really looking forward to the new Ghostbusters movie because this movie has that similar vibe of the original movie that the other two movies did not capture. And it has such a great cast, including people like Finn Wolfhard and Paul Rudd. And the fact that it has cameos, of course, from the original Ghostbusters has me really excited, and it looks really fun, entertaining. It's going to be really fun to watch, and I can't wait to finally get a new Ghostbusters movie. Plus, it's directed by the son of the original movie, which makes me even more excited. Nearing the end of the list is The Matrix 4, or rumored titled Matrix Resurrections. Now, I love the first Matrix movie. I thought Reloaded was fun. It's not as good as the original, but not entirely the best sequel it could have been. And I thought Revolutions was, while it's not terrible, I thought it's kind of disappointing as a conclusion. So the fact that we're finally getting a new Matrix movie all these years later, and the fact that we really don't know much about the story, and that Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are coming back as Neo and Trinity, with one of the original directors coming back as director. I'm really looking forward and very curious to see, what is this movie going to be about? Is this going to be like the start of a new trilogy, or is this going to be a one-time thing? What's Neo going to do in this movie? How does he factor into all this, especially after his death in the third movie? So I'm really looking forward to this movie. And the cast, they also have like Neil Patrick Harris and all that. It's really great cast, and the fact that we really don't know much about this movie makes me really curious to see this movie when it comes out in the winter. So as much as I love the original movie, Matrix 4 is obviously going to be on my list of most anticipated movies for the remainder of the year. But coming in at the end is Spiderman No Way Home. Now, of course, I'm going to have to bring this movie up because I love Spider-Man. He's one of my all-time favorite comic book characters, and I love Tom Holland in the role, and I really liked how Far From Home ends with his identity being exposed to the public. And the fact that this movie is going to be where that story continues has me really, really looking forward to seeing how it goes from here. Plus, the talks about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back into this movie also have me beyond excited to see these two Spider-Men return alongside Tom Holland. So that's going to be so cool. And I cannot wait to see how they handle both the identity crisis story with the multiverse stuff, and the fact that we're going to probably see Charlie Cox again as Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil. And Benedict Cumberbatch reprises his role as Doctor Strange, with the talks of Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock and Jamie Foxx as Electro. With all of these Spider-Man villains from other movies coming into this movie, I am really, really, really excited for No Way Home to come out in December. It's going to be a great movie to cap off this year, and it is going to be absolutely wild, and I'm dying to get the first trailer for this movie because I want to see a look of No Way Home, because that's how excited I am. So it's Spider-Man, Marvel, it continues the Far From Home story. We might see Tobey and Andrew again with all these other Spider-Man villains. So I am really excited for this movie, and this movie obviously comes in at number 1 on the list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I would love to see what your most anticipated movies of the year are down below in the comment section. And don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is on the screen, so don't forget to do that while you're about to be done with this video. And thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more.